Hey y'all, it's y'all favorite cozy girl, Chi the Reality Queen, and I am back again with another episode of Robe Chronicles. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 8, Episode 2. And I think I finally got this mic thing worked out. I'm so sorry, y'all. I didn't realize in the last video that if I kept my finger above the clip, I was hitting the mic. So let's hope to this time being correct, right? Anyways, this episode starts off with Ashley. She's going to the plant shop to pick up some plants for her house, and she meets up with her mama Sheila. I think her mom is really sweet. I think she tries to, I mean, I think she tries to be a good mother and lead Ashley in the right direction now that she's older. Obviously, she's made a lot of mistakes in her life that they've shown us, but overall, I think she's a really nice lady. Um, basically, Ashley tells her mom about her new friend Neka and how she met her through her friend Ngozi. Okay, y'all, like as an Igbo, that pronunciation of Ngozi had me cringing. Like I was like, Ngozi, is that Igbo? Like I was shook because if whenever I hear it from family and friends, it's Ngozi. But I mean, again, maybe that's what the girl introduced herself as. I know way too many Nigerians that tone down their names or give different pronunciations because they say people find it hard to pronounce. And honestly, I hate that. And I'm not saying that you can't do whatever you want, your name, I don't mind. But let me tell you, people learn to say Schwarzenegger and Marciano and all types of things. And so they can learn to say your name. It's just there's this stigma with African names that are so hard and I can't pronounce it. And they start whining and crying about how they can't say something. But when it comes to these very hard Polish, German, Spanish names, everybody is able to say it. That's just my little two cents on that. Anyway, they do a little flashback of her talking with NECA. Um, and it's funny because NECA's like, oh, I've met Wendy through my cousin in law. And the thing is, as a Nigerian, I know how easy it is to be in the same spaces as other Nigerians, especially as an Igbo. Our community isn't that large, so I get it. But that doesn't really mean that you met someone or you know them because I know there's plenty of people I've met. I am really good with faces, so I would definitely remember a face, but I may not remember the name or the instance and how we met. Um, Ashley's mom talks about Michael's lawsuit against Candace, and she's like, what's going on? Why is she suing him? And here comes Ashley's raggedy self talking about, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about that lawsuit. I don't know why she's suing him. And if she didn't want to get sued, she shouldn't have been talking mess. Not the queen of talking mess telling people that they shouldn't be talking mess. Literally everything out of Ashley's mouth is mess. Like 90% of what she talks about is mess about other people. But now she's like, she shouldn't be talking mess. And someone on Twitter pointed out that Ashley is Michael Darby is suing Candace for 2 million, and that is the exact price of Ashley's home. Like, is he just trying to get that house paid off cash? Like, no. I hope Michael Darby loses in court. I hope they throw out the case. He's blaming her for losing business when he has sexually assaulted multiple people on camera. Like, let's not do this. Like, that makes me sick. And I know he's not on the show anymore because he's suing Candace because supposedly, I don't know this for sure, but supposedly there's some clause that you can't sue other castmates or whatever it is. But it's like really tacky. And Michael has done a lot of stuff, and people should sue him. I wish people would sue him. Like, I'm tired of him and who he is as a person. But I just don't like the fact Ashley's trying to pretend like she doesn't know anything about it, but she's still going on vacation with that man. You're still going on vacation with that man, and you're telling me he's not telling you anything about his lawsuit against Candace when you're actually not friends with her. Like, if Ashley was still friends with Candace and was like, I really don't know anything, I told him to leave me out of it, we're getting a divorce, and she's actually going through with it, and she's still friends with Candace, then I would believe that. But not in the current state that she's in, no. Then she wants us to believe that she's not having any sexual relationship with Michael Darby. And it's like, girl, you saying it's for the kids, but I'm not buying it. Not Ashley. Like other people, maybe, but I don't believe it. I just don't believe it with her. I'm sorry. Like you're holding off on the divorce because you don't have enough money to pay for your existence, supposedly. I mean, this is by her own admission, but you have enough money to get a boob job. Who paid for that? I'm going to believe it was Michael Darby. And if she paid for it on her own, fantastic. That means you should divorce that man because you have money for extracurriculars. You have money for your mortgage, right? Because boob jobs aren't cheap. I mean, they're cheaper than they once were, but they're not cheap. Anyway, Ashley's mom suggests that she invites Candace to her housewarming. And honestly, I think it's I believe that all housewives should go to all events of every person just because of the show. Obviously, if Candace can't make it, then that's different. But I think for the purposes of the show, if you don't like them, too bad. Go on a different show, right? Um, but whatever. But yeah, so then that was pretty much that interaction. Her mom's not coming to the housewarming, but Uncle Lump is. I love Uncle Lump. I think Uncle Lump always gives Ashley pretty sound advice. I think Ashley just doesn't like to take it because she's not a sound person. Um, Anyways, then we move to Mia meeting up with the Grand Dame. And when they meet up, Karen won't even hug her. She's like, girl, you get a handshake because you are an associate. And honestly, I like Karen's energy here because you're not going to go on camera and talk about my institution, as Karen likes to say, and then think that we gonna be all willy nilly. No, you let the cameras get to you, girl. She says it's the liquor, but it was the cameras. You wanted to join in on the key that Sharice and all of them were having, and so you came and wanted to bring some messiness. And it's like, girl, I've defended you tirelessly against the allegations that you were faking sickness, and you have the audacity to now try and tell people that I was cheating on my husband. Like, oh, I heard. Even if you heard, and even if you wanted to bring it to Karen, you could have said, hey, I don't believe this, but this is what somebody told me. Because then it comes that you have a stance on it, right? You come to Karen as if it's fact. And that's where I think Karen has the problem. Instead of coming to Karen and be like, hey, I heard this. I don't know if it's true. It sounds so crazy because I know how you and Ray are, but I'm just letting you know what the word on the street is, right? That's a different approach than what Mia did. Mia went for, I think that, yeah, I think that Karen being mad at her is reasonable, actually. Um, because like I said, when Giselle and Robin were calling her sick, not sick, like, I'm sorry. I actually would never talk to somebody like Giselle again. Giselle clearly doesn't take other people's sickness seriously. And I would have been like, girl, F you, catch these hands. Because even if I wasn't sick ultimately, but I thought I was sick, and that's how you were joking with it, girl, we can't be friends. I'm gonna snatch that wig off your head. Play with me if you want to. Like, it was just so rude. And Karen was like, oh, let's give her a chance. Let's do this because she is a good friend. I don't care what nobody says. I know a lot of people don't like Karen as a housewife or don't like Karen as a grand dame or whatever. But what you cannot say about Karen is Karen is a good friend. Um, Anyway, oh, but then, oh, I almost forgot. Karen did ask her. She's like, okay, since we're asking about rumors and such, was Gordon embezzling money? Like, I know Giselle brought that up. And she was like, oh, well, in Giselle's defense, I didn't know what was going on in the money, with the money. Why are you in Giselle's defensing your husband? You should have been like, no, there was none of that going on. And I don't even know why Giselle would suggest that. I mean, we already know they're separated, but it's like, girl, you are not even trying to hide the fact that you hate this man. Like, him being poor is like paining you. And you have to like you are so upset about him being poor and you cannot defend him at all. Like, she's like, we've been going through it. It's been tough. Like, all the conversation is leading to I'm leaving this man as soon as I find somebody else, because the truth is she has nothing to her name. So she can't leave this man on her own. She got to leave this man with something else, stable behind her, because I don't even think they've been married up to 10 years, because the other kid is from her previous marriage, and then her other two kids with G are pretty young. Um but yeah, she they squash it. They decide to start over. She said that she stopped drinking. She tells, Kern that she stopped drinking because she thinks the alcohol is what led to her bad decisions, not just being a, attention seeker. And I like Mia, don't get me wrong. I actually like her, but I think she made a lot of really bad decisions last season. Um, yeah. Excuse me. Candace's manager shows up at her house or her place of business. I think it was her house. And they're talking about her tour. And, I like the tour talk for Candace. And I'm gonna be honest, like I haven't really listened to the music. I'm not really an R&B girly. Um, so I cannot vouch for Candace's music, but I have seen people online talk about how much they love her music. So shout out to her for that. But the fact that she tried to shade Drew Sidora and Bravo agreed to the shade, because that clip they showed of her performing, that was shade. That was shade. Because again, I don't know Drew Sidora as a performer or as a singer or anything. I honestly just remember her from the game. So I don't know her as anything besides the girl from the game, but that clip was shade. And honestly, the producers, they are getting good. I don't know what flipped. Maybe in COVID, they did a rehiring or whatever, but the producers are on their A game and the jokes are like going there. I love it. Um, I just feel bad for Drew, because Drew got to watch this and be like, dang, now why am I in it? I mean, like the shade was crazy. But I mean, I don't, like I said, I know nothing about Candace's music life, and that isn't shade. That's really like, I just don't know because I don't pay attention to that genre of music like that. But, I wish her the best. I hope she's still selling out shows, and stop shading people, girl. Because it was unnecessary. The face, the looks, the action. Like, she did not have to do that. She could have just said, I don't want to work with that girl. Anyway, um, Robin and Juan are having a conversation, and it's so funny because every single one of Robin and Juan's conversations always surround Robin doing some type of work and Juan coming in. Where were you, bro? Why are you never just there with her? Why is she always, oh, I'm putting my pills and vitamins into this. Oh, I'm boxing hats. Oh, I'm putting the pictures from the wedding into, like, they're such staged, terrible scenes. It's almost like those two people don't just sit and chill. Like, it doesn't make sense, right? I'm not saying that you always have to be home or whatever, but their scenes seem a little over the top. Like there's always something going on in that regard. But, it's funny because Robin starts talking about how the girls, called her together for kind of like you know, what are those things called? An intervention on Juan. And it's funny because I think that Juan was so dismissive of the topic. And it's funny because I think that that is where Robin gets her beliefs and views on what is going on. However, Juan feels is how Robin feels, because he's literally saying, I don't care, and yelling it just the way she was yelling it to them when they were at the intervention. It's actually a little scary. It's like, girl, you're not thinking for yourself. You're not mad because Juan is telling you not to be mad. You don't care because Juan is saying he doesn't care. Like, do you have a thought of your own? Do you have a feeling towards this? Like, I mean, I know how you feel. You told them last time that your joy has been robbed. So there is a feeling that you have. You just refuse to acknowledge it because you're going with Juan's feelings because you don't want to disappoint Juan. And now Juan is over here like, because Giselle is like, oh, well, Giselle thinks that the optics are bad and this and that. And Juan's like, well, I don't care. If you want to be mad at me, Robin. Yell at me, be mad. And it's just so condescending for somebody whose behavior was really terrible. Like his behavior was horrid. And the situations he was caught in were compromising and not good. And the truth is, we all know what really happened, despite whatever story he's telling Robin. So for him to be so offended and upset and angry and not caring is like, you don't care about this girl at all. And Robin is just soaking it in. Maybe she still feels guilty for losing all your money or what have you. I don't know. But it's like, girl, get a grip because this man is running you ragged and it's happening in front of, like, it's happening, it's live, it's being televised, like we are watching it. It's sad, but it's what she wants to deal with, right? I mean, you can't force somebody to do something other than what they want to do, right? Like you can want it for them, but you can't make them do it. So Robin, good luck. That's what I have to say. And let's not have Juan on here anymore. Like, bring him to the reunion because like, Robin isn't going to hold Juan accountable, right? Like, so I don't care to see their scenes. What I want to see is Juan sitting on that reunion couch behind Robin and then having his feet being held to the fire on camera because those are the people that's going to hold him accountable. Robin will never do it. So those scenes mean nothing to me. I mean, they even talk about the sexual assault case, and Robin's like, oh, I know he did nothing wrong. And I mean, what other thing is she going to say? That's her husband. She's not going to be like, I know he didn't do right, but that's my man. No, she's not going to say that. She's going to say, I believe him. He did everything that was right. And it's a lawsuit, it's ongoing. She can't say anything to the contrary. So, yeah, I don't care for these scenes. They're very curated. Just no. One, go back to wherever you were. I just want to see you at the reunion and I want people to ask you questions live that require you to actually stand on shit because you don't have to stand on shit with Robin. So I don't care for those scenes. Um, we finally get to meet the new housewife, Nneka. She introduces herself. She's a child of generational wealth. She just bought a house in Potomac. She's married to a doctor. Her dad is very rich. As an Igbo, I have a lot of thoughts on this, but yeah, as an Igbo, I do, right? And I don't like to, I don't want to speak to them because then people will take it as bond since I'm also Igbo, but yeah. Her husband owns a nightclub. They're very, very rich. So I don't know if her and her husband are rich because her father is rich, or if her and her husband are rich because her husband's a doctor and she's a lawyer, right? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't clear because she was talking about all the houses that she owned. And I'm like, okay, do you own those houses or does your father own those houses? And where is your father? Is he here in the US? Does he live in Nigeria? What is his occupation? Right? What does your dad do on paper? Yeah, those are questions I'd like answers to. I'm not saying we're going to get them, but it would be nice. Uh, oh, yes. Like they have houses in the most random spaces, like two lake houses in Wisconsin. Okay, I guess, right? I don't know. I don't know. But she seems so far, she seems nice. She's trying to get, she just got married. They're newlyweds. And okay, y'all. I have thoughts. Like, they've been married for a year. How long have they been dating? Will their relationship stand the test of time? Like, let me tell you, getting on reality TV, you need to have an institution like Karen Huger talks about because it's rough. The girlies are going to come out of nowhere and start saying that they've been with your man. How long before that happens, right? It's just going to be tough. And I hope, as a Nigerian, I hope it works out and I wish them the best. But the messy part of me just wants to know how long. 1 month, 2 months after the reunion, halfway into the season. When are we going to get those rumors? Because they're inevitable, right? There just be rumors, but that's the thing about going on reality TV. You've opened your family up to a critical eye, and 1 year of marriage, I don't know. I don't know. Like Candace, she came on with her boyfriend, right? And I was surprised. Chris has gone a couple of seasons, excuse me, without getting any allegations. So until this season, right? Like they've now been married maybe 3 years or whatever it is. But it's like, it comes. People, and here's the thing, her husband is an African American Nigerian doctor. Chris was a white chef. No shade, but someone, somewhere is going to tell us they've been with Nneka's man. I don't know who, but I know they will, right? Because that's what happens. Um, but yeah, I hope not for her sake and for the sanctity of her marriage, right? And the fact that she's trying to have children, I don't know how hard. Taking prenatals with champagne seems kind of counterproductive, but girl, do you, boo? But yeah, when she guzzled down them prenatals with champagne, I was like, hmm, okay. Interesting. She says she's been trying to get pregnant for about 7 months, but again, I don't know how hard she was trying if she's guzzling prenatals with champagne. And, Ashley once said she was trying to get pregnant and couldn't stop drinking Coronas. So I see why they're friends. Anyway, Wendy is starting her own talk show, which honestly I like for Wendy, right? She is a political consultant. She's on camera a lot. She talks. I mean, I don't know why she hasn't done it before, right? Like she could be on the real, the view. Honestly, I it makes sense. I think it's kind of a space for her that makes sense. More than even a book or candles or any of those other things that she was doing prior to, right? She wrote a book, she was making candles, she was doing all types of stuff, and I think that this actually makes more sense than any of that. Um, it does. I don't know. I hope it's interesting. I hope it's something that people want to watch and it's popular, but I don't know. We shall see. um, but I do think that for some reason, and I don't want to get into Wendy's finances, but I feel like Wendy always has these aspirations that sometimes may be beyond the scope of her capabilities. The same, she last season she was trying to open up a restaurant. Didn't happen. Now she's trying to do a talk show. Girl, you need to get in your kitchen, put up a camera like I'm doing right here, and tell people to come to your house that you're friends with at least, right? And start there. Keep the budget low until you start bringing in more money and then go from there. I think it's possible. I'm not here to knock her dream because I actually think this is an avenue she should be in, but I just think that you don't need to go so big so quickly, right? Like you can actually take the time to get yourself to a space that works for you. And then when you start being able to get bigger budgets, then you can expand, right? That makes sense to me. And I hope it makes sense to Wendy because, girl, you always trying to do a little bit too much. And I get it because you are someone who has accomplished a lot. So you see yourself in that light. But yeah, let's reel it in and get it started and then scale up. But yes, anyway, um, Karen calls Ashley Mia and Giselle to come do plyometrics. Where did they go? I don't know what they went to go do, but it was a workout. Pilates. Isn't that what everybody does now? Like Pilates is so popular now. Karen invites everybody to come do that. Ashley tells everyone she got new boobs. Demi and something. Again, like I said, you have money for boobs, but not a mortgage. Weird. Um, Karen talks about her triple 20, which she's turning 60. And she talks about doing all the tests that would scare you. Now, she did a physical, y'all. That's what it sounds like. She did a physical, I think. I don't know. Um, and she said that one of the results was that she had 5% buildup deposit. Hold on, let me. It's 5% calcium in her carotid artery. Now, I don't know what that means. Um, But I don't think it's right to shade her, right? If this is something she's worried about, y'all, we should be worried too, right? She's worried, we're worried. I mean, she says she just wants to work out more, eat healthy, and she'll be fine if she, catches it in time. But the fact that Giselle, I just don't like the fact that Giselle always has to shade somebody. Like, girl, when you was over here removing your whole uterus and all that, like, not one person made a joke about that. And I'm not saying that that wasn't something serious, but it's like you don't make jokes about people's health. Like, unless it's caught that they are lying, I just feel like people's health is like serious because anything can happen and you should just support them through it. And I feel like she's not doing a good job of supporting people through their health. Um, but yeah, they talk, the whole group, everybody's laughing because Robin, I mean, not Robin, Mia and Karen shook hands again because she refuses to still hug her. And she's like, I just think that talking about rumors is off limits and this and that. And Giselle was like, well, does that mean that you don't you owe Robin an apology for making up a rumor? But let me say this, it wasn't a rumor. And I know Karen conceded that, okay, it was a rumor, but the truth was people were seeing Juan running around town with a woman that looked a little bit like Karen. Okay, I saw the girl. Y'all saw the girl. That girl looked like Karen Huger. Younger, maybe, but looked like her. So I don't know if Karen owes her an apology because she wasn't too far off. That girl kind of looked like her, and Juan running around these streets with her. So to say that she owes her an apology or a conversation, I don't agree. But Karen's a bigger woman than I am, right? She's about peace. I love it. And she conceded a little bit. I don't know if she conceded to an apology, but she conceded to giving Robin a chance. But those two are like oil and water. They should never be friends. Robin's real low class, in my opinion. And I think that's why Karen doesn't like her. Who knows? Um, I don't know if Robin is low class personally, but I think that's what Karen thinks about her. Let me make that clear. I could be wrong, but that's what it seems like. Um, Anyways, for the housewarming, Ashley didn't invite Candace despite her mother's suggestion, but it makes sense. Why invite her? It's just going to be drama, whatever. But she did invite everybody else, including Sharice and including Muppet, who is Deborah. It's funny because I don't know why they would bring her back. Like, I feel like she was so much unnecessary drama. Like, I get drama, but unnecessary lying drama, like, I'm surprised Bravo even showed her on camera. And I feel like Ashley's trying so hard. I'm pretty sure Ashley even tried to push for her to be the new housewife, but they ended up going with Nneka instead. And I'm glad because I don't want to know anything about Deborah at all. Like, nothing. Like, I don't even want to see her on my screen no more. Um, then they do a tour of the house. Mia's a little shady about the house. She's like, where's the beach? Girl, not you in your 1,500 square foot apartment talking. Like, I need you to chill just a little bit, right? Let her enjoy this moment, please. Um, Sharice shows up and she's matching with Karen Huger. It's actually insane, but it's probably because they're both 60-year-old women, so they both have similar taste in fashion. They are the same age or similar age or about a year apart or 2 years apart or whatever. So for them to show up in similar outfits isn't really that crazy. I think are of the same generation, so they think the same when it comes to fashion. Karen, being the congeniality queen that she is, addresses Cherise like that's not your friend. She's always cordial. I tell you guys, she's the cordial queen. Like she will talk and deal with everybody and be friends with people or nice, not friends, nice to people who aren't nice to her. And I'm like, I don't see how you guys don't see it. Like she is always cordial. She always gives everybody a little grace. Like she did not ignore Sharice, even though if I was her, I would. The thing Sharice was saying about her, girl, don't ever talk to me again. Don't even look at me. You telling people I'm effing in the bathroom? Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. We not friends. I don't F with you. Simple. But Karen Huger is better than me. um, Wendy shows up. When Wendy shows up, Wendy goes to hug Karen, and Giselle slides away from her like that. And it's funny because I saw some people talking on Twitter and they were like, oh, you guys are clapping for Wendy for ignoring Giselle and Mia. But when they ignored her for no reason. She's ignoring them because they asked her not to speak to her. At least Giselle did. And Mia hit her. So, yes, they haven't resolved that. But it's like, why wouldn't she ignore Giselle? Because not only did Giselle tell her not to speak to her, when she even went over there, Giselle acted like, oh God, I can't even speak to this woman. Like Giselle is 50 something years old and acts like a 12-year-old. It's actually insane. That's why she's dating a man 17 years her junior, because she acts like a child still. Like she can't be cordial. That level of cordial that Karen Huger has, and she can say hi and she can, whatever. Giselle doesn't have it because she's childish. And that's okay, because sometimes I'm childish too. I get it. But it's too much with Giselle. When Wendy shaded Deborah, I screamed. She called her the entertainment. I'm sorry. That's funny. I don't care what nobody said. That's the entertainment. Okay. Okay. Robin is late per usual. That girl don't know how to show up anywhere on time. I don't even know what she be doing. Packing vitamins. That's why she late. Girl, get it together. She's been dressing up this season, but Robin really don't be suited and booted like that. She be wearing like, um, excuse me, she be wearing like sneakers and stuff. Like I don't know why she would take so long to get there. Maybe she has glam. Maybe she's like Lisa Barlow and she always has glam, so she has to wait for her glam to get there. I don't know if she looks glammed up like that. I mean, she's always pretty, but whatever. Um, then NECA shows up. And it's funny because how she's like, oh, you guys have so much in common. And she's like what? And she's like, Wendy's like what? And she's like, oh, she's Ebo and you're Ebo and this and that. And, Wendy's like, oh, okay. Hey, girl. Production asked her, oh, have you ever met her? And she's like, oh, we met in passing. Like, I've never met her, but like we've crossed each other's path. I don't think that's shady. Like I said earlier, when you're Nigerian, when you're Ebo, you get into a lot of spaces and circles where you do run into people and you maybe remember their face, but maybe exactly remember an interaction. Um, anyway, that she introduces NECA to the table. Wendy's like, oh, you guys keep calling her NECA. Her name is NECA, which is true. With two N's, you pronounce them. That's the one thing I love about Igbo. Those letters, baby, you pronounce them. So if there's two N's, NM, KP, NW, NY, I mean, I get it. These are not letters that are in the English alphabet, so it is a little bit difficult. And obviously, different languages are hard to pronounce. But if it's there, you pronounce it. In NECA. You get those two N's. But she said, oh, it's America. You give people grace. I mean, whatever. So if she wants to be called NECA, we can call her NECA. I don't mind. That's her choice. That's her name. She gets to determine what we call her, right? Um, but then Ashley Darby pulls Wendy from the table after introducing NECA to everybody. Now, the fact that she does that let me know she ain't shit. Why would you introduce her and then pull me away in the middle of your event? We couldn't wait for another day. But, anyways, they go and they talk, and she's like, oh, our relationship, blah, blah, blah. And Wendy's like, you know, I want us to be good. I want us to be the friends that I know we can be. And I don't want to have to worry that, anytime I'm not with you, you ready to, basically just talk about me behind my back for a storyline. And Ashley's like, oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't want that, blah, 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 basically bull skipping because that's who she is. And then she's like, oh, in that same light or whatever, I was asking Nneka about Osu and people calling you Osu, and she was saying, like, that's so bad and this and that. And now, as an Igbo, the way it came off in the clips and the way Ashley brings it up to Wendy is as if Nneka was telling Ashley that Wendy is Osu or could potentially be Osu, and that's a bad thing. But the truth was, Ashley asked her about it, and she just explained what it was. Nneka, you've been vindicated on that point. On that point, okay? Because it looks like you try to get back shady next episode. So we're going to see if it lasts. But you've been vindicated on that. You did not call Wendy that. You did not bring it up. And I think for Ashley, as an American, not a Nigerian, to even feel comfortable talking about things that she doesn't understand in a manner as if she does, that's disgusting. And what if Wendy decides to sue you, right? Didn't you talk about people talking mess? Because that's something that can mess you up. Um, but Ashley is just a mess of a human. And I'm so glad production called her out. Production was like, well, why did you bring it up as if Nneka said it and she was talking about her and that wasn't the case? And here comes her, oh, it was the tequila. What tequila, girl? You talk about well, maybe the tequila that she had when she was with Nneka that day, because at that party, she was just drinking Coronas. So I don't know why she would do something like that. I think Ashley just has a very nasty spirit. That's what I truly believe of her. Like, she might be the fun time girl, she might be all these things, but I also think she has a very nasty spirit because how easy it is for her to just make up lies and then excuse them and all that stuff. Like, I hope one day Ashley wakes up and is like, wow, I have a really nasty spirit and that needs to change. I wish that for her because her spirit is nasty and I don't like it. I don't like that someone feels so comfortable just twisting stuff. And I'm not saying that Nneka is perfect or Wendy is perfect or anything, but Ashley's so intentionally nasty that it's like, ooh, girl. But that's pretty much where the episode ends. I'm interested to see if Wendy goes straight to the source and discusses with Nneka about what happened, because I think a lot of misinformation is how drama starts here on these Housewives series. Like, no one says, hey, someone just said this to me. Girl, is this true? Because someone just said this. That's not really how it goes. It's always someone just said this. And now I'm going to bring it up in the craziest possible manner so we can fight. Like, it's never calm. It's never chill. But I guess if it was, would we watch? I don't know. But you know what, guys? Tell me what you're feeling, how you're feeling about this season. I know a lot of people online are saying that they're not really liking this season or not really liking the directions Real Housewives is going in. This Real Housewives of Potomac specifically, and that they're not watching. What are you guys doing? Are you guys watching? How do you feel? Please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Let me know what you think, and see me back here next time for my next episode of Robe Chronicles. See you guys. Bye.